person who always wanted to learn a language, but you always feel like you didn't know how to do that, or you didn't have like the tips that was treating you the best, then I'm telling you this video is meant for you, because I follow these tips and advices to myself, and today I'm able to speak 5 languages fluently and learning 7 languages in the same time. Hi my populace, welcome to my channel. My name is Bettina. For the people new, you can call me BOBD as you want, and for the people's back, thank you so much and welcome back. So today, you saw that on the title, we'll be talking about languages, and I will be sharing with you some tips and advice to learn new languages. Before we get to the tips that I have here that I want to share with you, I'm going to be introducing first the language that I speak. Of course, you're hearing me speaking English, so of course English is the language that I speak, but I'm not going to be talking about that much because you will see that on my different videos. Le français, c'est une de mes langues maternelles. Je l'ai appris dès le plus jeune âge. Je le parle à la maison, je le parle à l'école, je l'ai appris dès toute petite, et c'est la langue dans laquelle je me sens le plus à l'aise. El español, yo aprendí el español cuando era en la escuela, pero la verdad, como que aprendí la lengua más o menos mirando telenovelas todos los días. A mí me gustaban las telenovelas y yo soy de esa persona que no puedo ver una telenovela o una película con voces, con voz que eran extranjeros, o si me entienden, ¿no? Entonces para mí era más fácil de escuchar las personas hablando español sin entender al primer tiempo. No estaba entendiendo todo porque, bueno, tenía mis límites, pero después con habitude y todo eso, después con tiempo, me hace un poco más fácil. Lingala. Nayibi ko lo baga lingala ti. Nayibi ko se kanga. No, você kanga ti. Na lo baga lingala na accent moko ya français. Nayibi ko lo baga lingala sans mélanger français na lingala ti. Na comprendre gamo vraiment bien. Famille nanga ba lo banga lingala. Ba lingala ba yibi ko lo baga lingala ti. Italiano. L'italiano è la lingua dell'amore, no? Ma io ho iniziato a parlare l'italiano solo perché il mio ragazzo è italiano e per me è molto complicato stare con il mio ragazzo e non parlare la stessa lingua. That's it. I am learning Portuguese and Dutch. My Portuguese is still very basic. Well, yeah, mostly basic to intermediate right now. And my Dutch is clearly basic. Okay, my Dutch is no. So now that I introduce you the language that I speak, then you see like I'm very fluent, as I say, with my 5 first languages that I talk, but then not that much with the second language. I'm telling you the advice and the tips that I'm following, that I'm applying for Portuguese and Dutch to be able to also speak like I'm speaking Italian, Spanish, and French, and all in English. The first things that I like to do is to understand why I'm learning a new language and what is the expectation that I'm having with this language and what level I want to reach. For example, for me, there is only 3 levels in learning different languages. You have the beginning, you have the beginners, you have the beginner, you have the intermediate, and you have the advanced. Me, all the time when I'm learning a language, I want to go to the advanced. I want to be fluent. That's what I'm expecting. That's what I want. That's my goal. And I know like this is going to take a lot of time because you're always going to learn speaking every day. This is not something that you will be nailing in 4 or 5 months, okay? I've been learning, for example, I've been learning German for 5 months, more than 5 months now, but I'm still not fluent in this language because it's not about the timing. It's not about the timing. Being fluent in the language takes time, and you just need to understand that. So based on just the expectation, you will know how long it will take you to learn a new language. Second thing that I like to do is to get the basics, which is like phonetics, grammar, spelling, and all this stuff. Because it's very important. I'm really sorry, I have my dog here on the side that's making sounds. I think you can see her maybe if I move. No, you cannot see her. Anyway, so for me, as I was saying, it's very important to get the phonetics in the beginning, before the grammar, before the spelling, before the vocabulary, getting the phonetics. The phonetics, for people who don't know, is like actually when one letter and another letter will combine into a word and make a sound. Okay, that's the sound that you want to understand. For example, the sound here. Here is the word that is combined with different letters and that makes different sound, which is like here, here, and the hearings, for example. So this is different words with different letters that make different sounds, and you need to go to understand that when you're speaking new languages, because it's not something that you've been born into it, so it's not natural for you to do that, and you need to understand why. So why it works like that, why you make that sound. And after when you understand that, you need to go to the grammar, to the spellings, to all this stuff that is basics. This is something you cannot escape from doing that. This is the first thing to do, and when you reach that, then you can start like practicing. But you need basics to be able to practice. Okay, when you've done that, you can go to the next step, which is like to bring yourself into the culture of the language that you're targeting. I know if I want to learn English, for example, then in US or in UK it's not going to be the same, in Australia it's not going to be the same, because those countries have their own language, I would say this way. So it doesn't change that much. I mean, even if you speak English in UK or in US or in Australia, you will still be able to understand you will still be able to understand and be understandable, but you will not really speak the same language than them, because you will not be in the culture of that language. So what I like to do is always get the culture of the language that I want to learn. So I will always feel comfortable with the language, and always feel comfortable when I'm traveling in a specific country where the culture is just making sense for me. I'm real sorry for the dog again. I think like making a lot of noises here. Once you do that, then you need to find your learning resource that suits you the best. For example, me, I'm not the kind of person who learns with applications. I feel more comfortable learning with watching TV shows, listening podcasts, watching videos on YouTube, traveling, listening to the news, reading in English, reading in a language, for example, I'm targeting. I feel more comfortable with this kind of resources. But if you're the kind of person who comfortable enough with application like Duolingo and all these applications, stick with that. If you're not, then try to find what suits the best, because you need to get to the process. Okay, I am more comfortable with the application because they explain me everything and it's like step by step. Then do with that, but don't just stay until there for all the time. That's just what I'm saying. But start with that if you feel comfortable. If you feel comfortable with like watching TV shows, then watch with that. For example, me, I remember for Portuguese, for example, I am watching a TV show, a Brazilian TV show in Portuguese. I'm not comfortable with Portuguese at all. I'm not fluent in that language at all. But I am watching this TV show without any translation. And the more I'm getting the words and the more I'm getting comfortable with episodes, I feel like I don't understand everything that happened, but I can catch on stuff. The words become a little more obvious for me, more comfortable with me, and then just stick in my head, and then I memorize them, and then I try to feel a little more comfortable with the language. But in the beginning, I'm struggling because, of course, I'm not understanding everything, and it's kind of annoying to watch something to bring it to you and not be able to understand everything that people are saying. But trust me, if you don't do that, you will always need translation. You will never get to the advanced level, or actually not need anything. Right now, I'm able to make videos in English, speak in English, read in English, watching English videos without having any translation, because I get myself the time to first struggle and then after being comfortable. Once you find the learning resource for you, the good things to do is to have a notebook where you will be putting is to have the notebook where you will be putting all the words and all the vocabulary that you need. For example, if you're learning again German, for example, you need to have a notebook where you have all the words that are not common, that you're not used to hear all the time, and just put them in this notebook. So you will have like I like to call that like a library in your mind, and then this library in your mind will be allowing you to actually be able to speak languages and different languages, because the more languages you're adding, the more it becomes complicated for you to remember everything, because you have like, you only have one brain, even if it's amazing as an organ, it's still only one. And then being able to remember all this is because you have stored them in your memory. And then, for example, je peux changer de langue juste comme ça sans avoir à réfléchir. Todas las palabras que estoy diciendo, porque para mí es más fácil de cambiar las lenguas así, de pasar de español al inglés de francés, al francés del italiano, porque es más fácil. And because of that, going back to English, sorry, because of that, then you need to have like those notebooks with all the vocabulary in your mind, so you're able to switch like that and without having to think all the time, because you already have this stuck in your memory, you just have to use them. Next things to do, next step to go to is to speak. Okay, everybody's shy when it's learning a new language. I don't know why. Me, I never been a shy person. But if you're a shy person, stop being shy. Okay, it's not the moment to be shy. You need to embrace this language that you want to learn, and for that you need to speak. Speak with people outside. Speak with people in the street. Speak with people on the phone. Speak with people through dating app or whatever. Try to speak as much as possible. If you can speak with a native person, it's even better, because then all the time you will make a mistake, this person will be able to correct you, and then you're able to move to the next phase. But if you're never speaking, if you're never used to your own voice speaking the language that you're targeting, you will never get comfortable and you will clearly never get fluent. So you need to speak, and speak. Last advice that I will give you is to make sure to upgrade your skill in every category of the learning skills. For example, for me, learning a language means speaking the language, listening to the language, reading in the language, and writing in the language. You have 4 categories for me, and those categories are very important, and it has to be improved on the same time. You cannot just speak and never write. You cannot just speak and never read, or you can never speak and never listen in the language. You need to be able to upgrade all those categories at the same time. This is how the most fluent you will become and the more advanced you will reach. Because if I'm speaking a language that I can write or I can read, I'm not fluent. I'm mostly speaking that language just because I'm mimicking the words, or I'm just like imitating people speaking the language, but I'm not really fluent in that language because I cannot even know how to write it or how to read that. And most of the time, those people, you will see them, they will be very comfortable only in some situations. They will be able to speak when they're traveling because it's fun, it's light conversation, but you will never find them having like a debate in conferences, in science or med school or psychology or everything like it's a little more technical words or business, for example. They will not be able to be fluent there or comfortable there because they're not having the fluency in the language, because they're not really fluent. When I'm learning a language, I want to be able to work, study, speak, travel in this language. Okay, that's what I'm reaching. That's the advance for me. That's it for the tips. And then I will finish with this little bonus advice. You need to have fun. You need to enjoy this journey. You need to get the fun out there, okay? Because it's complicated in the beginning. You're struggling, yes, but you also need to have fun, because the fun is the only thing that's keeping you to always move on. And I'm telling you, it's a long journey learning a language and getting fluent in the language. And the more languages you're speaking, the more fun you're gonna get, because you're just gonna be like, for example, me, I'm a person who's a little too in control. And the idea behind learning new languages is like, for me, I like the idea of like when I'm gonna go out and I will hear people, maybe they were talking about me, I will be able to say, I know what you're talking about me. I know what you just said about me. I know what you're saying, because I will understand them. And they will be like, well, she understand us. Yeah, that's what I want. I want to be like this kind of spy who will be able to understand everything that people will tell about me. So there is a lot of languages in the world, so clearly I will not be able to understand everybody, but I will still be able to understand the main language that I'm reaching, which is some levels, okay? So right now, I mean, my first goal is to reach 10 languages speaking. So I'm not that far, because right now I'm learning 7 languages. So we're not that far from that first step. And then after, when I will reach this goal, I will extend to 15 to 20 languages. That will be insane. But right now I'm almost 30 years old and I'm speaking 5 languages fluently and 7 languages in process. So I'm pretty happy about myself. Anyway, so that's the end of that video. If you enjoyed that video, please give me a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments which language you speak in this list of my languages, or if you speak different languages, how did you learn your languages? How do you learn speaking languages? How do you feel like comfortable in this language? Do you feel like you in an advanced level, intermediate level, beginning level? Tell me that in the comments. And also subscribe. Dang, also subscribe. You guys watching me all the time and not subscribing to my channel, so please join the populace, hit that button here. And that's it for me. I've been talking a lot this video. I hope this video is not going to be that too long, but I think it's going to be. And I'm going to try to make it not that long. Anyway, I will see you on the next video. I'm blabbling and blabbing for nothing here, okay? It's time for wrapping this video. So see you on the next one, guys. Edif.